So first I want to mention that in the last year, 2 pages have been added to the website, largely due to the work of Sharif, who is our graphic design person primarily. And if you look under the about menu now, yeah, there's a page for educators and a page for researchers. And that is where you can find what I'm going to be talking about. Motivation was to use Eterna to promote STEM interest among students, since most kids like video games, and to increase student interest in Eterna to attract more players, attract players from underrepresented groups at science festivals, accessible to those communities, and to allow every RNA researcher around the world to share Eterna as a hands-on activity at science outreach events. And Sarah at CGEM originally suggested this and said, well, Eterna and CGEM could have a table at science festivals, at large science festivals, and show kids about how Eterna works. And we started talking, said, well, yeah, that'd be a great idea. How do we do that? And so I came up with the idea, well, we need a standalone version of the game because often these science festivals don't have Wi-Fi or it's really slow Wi-Fi. So we need something that would be very dependable. We would hate to be at one of these events and then the game doesn't work. So I'm going to be showing you more about that. But I think the main, so there's several reasons we did this, but a big one was to use Eterna as a way to increase STEM interest among middle and high school students, as well as the general public. So this is what the EternaDemo looks like. When I have it on the iPad on a table, I tried a couple of different puzzles. I tried a more complicated one to start with, and it was too hard. People couldn't solve it. And the thing is, they try to move the color. Like they don't click and click, they want to move it. So this is a very simple one. People can solve it. And I found that I mostly have to stand out front of the table and explain to everyone how to do it because they don't read it. And it just has to be really simple. And even as simple as it is, it kind of, people often stand there confused trying to figure it out. We can all remember what it was like the first time we tried to play Eterna. So the components of the kit is there are instructions for downloading the EternaDemo app and how to load it up onto the iPad and enter the puzzle number and use it. There's also a flyer about Eterna that the researcher or person presenting could print out on their own to hand out. There's also 4 customizable posters about RNA and about citizen science that an exhibitor could choose to print to have displayed on their table. And there's a template for printing out stickers, Eterna stickers. And there's a file for printing a 3D hairpin stem. And I can't show you that right now because at RNA Society, somebody took mine, so I don't have it anymore. But I'm gonna have to get another one printed. So at the RNA Society, this was the booth that we had. This was the Eterna booth. And you can see here is the game on an iPad. And then they had the stickers, and we had some other swag, and we had this nice poster here talking about researchers using Eterna in their grants. So, that's obviously we're going to have different tables set up for different audiences. So this was for a researcher audience. And one of the researchers from Germany, her 2 children were with her, and they spent a good half an hour here playing. And I think the researcher was pretty thrilled, and she posted this picture on Twitter. And the kids were getting so good at it, I gave them a hard puzzle. So far, the kit has been used last year at Berkeley Days, the Oregon Science Festival at OMSI, the Oregon Science Teacher Conference, the annual Biomedical Research Conference for Minoritized Scientists, ABRACAMP it's called, that was in Phoenix. The RNA Society had a booth where they were promoting, trying to attract minority participation in the RNA Society and offering free RNA Society memberships to graduate students. So we had Eterna there as a way to interact with students about RNA. And then just recently at the Tri-Valley Innovation Fair in California, CGEM had a booth. We didn't have any people there, but CGEM had a booth and they did use the Eterna game there. And like I said, at the RNA Society International meeting, we used it. And then upcoming in November, I'm going to have a booth at the Oregon Girl Scouts STEM Day. And I'm actually had a local graduate student who's going to join me to help me with that. The other thing I want to fill everybody in about is Coursera. So we launched Coursera in January, and we posted a news post about it, and some of the players have played it. It's 2 modules. It was funded by CGM, the NSF Center for Genetically Encoded Materials. Like I said, there's 2 modules. One on RNA structure, and the other is on the ribosome and translation. 1,000 people on Coursera have started the course, and 250 have completed the course. And looking at the demographics on it, it was interesting that only about half are students, which I kind of anticipated there'd be a lot of non-students taking it just for their own fun. And when I was at the RNA Society, I got to talk to a lot of researchers in person about working with Eterna and collaboration and different ways to do the outreach kit with Eterna. And a couple researchers have expressed interest in creating their own module on Eterna for their particular research, and not just at the RNA Society, but in other groups that we've talked to over the last year. A couple have expressed interest in funding their own module. So it does take funding to create these. And that is all I have.